Hey everyone, I'm Nisha. Welcome to Tales and Texts and welcome to another episode of Books and Tarot. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing a fabulous book that I just finished listening to on Audible called Sadie by Courtney Summers. Now, Sadie is a book that can be brought under the true crime or detective fiction genre. It follows the narrative of a young girl by the name of Sadie who is searching for the man who murdered her younger sister, Maddie. And it is against this background where a heartbroken and enraged Sadie is determined to hunt down and kill this murderer who destroyed their lives that we see an entire epic human saga play out. At its core, Sadie is about broken people. Broken people coming from broken backgrounds who are shaped by their extremely challenging and distressing lives and who have found themselves in a position that is partly their own doing and partly the result of fate or another person's evil intentions or evil actions. When you explore the world of Sadie, you come across this myriad cast of characters, each of whom are so deep and complex and nuanced in the way they've been constructed or the way they've been built. Courtney Summers, the author, has done a phenomenal job in terms of exploring the psyche of these people who come from such challenging and distressing backgrounds. We meet a myriad cast of characters led by Sadie herself who share their tragedy, who share their hopes, dreams, desires, fears, who admit to their guilt, although not very openly sometimes, but they also they share their doubts. They take stock of their lives and they wonder what brought them here, what led them to this place, and if anything they could have done could have changed the outcome of where they are right now. As you read Sadie, you explore each of these characters so intimately that you as a reader don't really know how to view these characters, how to judge these characters. Should you be sympathetic to them? Should you give them leeway because of the backgrounds they come from? Should you pass moral judgments on them because there are such sensitive topics discussed here? For example, I do want to give a trigger warning that this book does deal with abuse, assault, and murder. So, do we stand on our high horse from where we're sitting and judge them for what they've done, of what they've experienced? Or do we let things slide and accept that things can't be changed? Do we support some of the characters in the decisions that they take despite knowing the consequences of their actions and their beliefs? It's a very complicated affair, and I think that's what I really loved about Sadie. The detective story in itself might be considered run of the mill by those of you who are more familiar with true crime or detective fiction, but I think you do need to read this book in order to explore the beautiful psychological character development that Courtney Summers has done. And I think that is why this book really shines. It's the character development that has gone into the in each of the characters in the book, the thought processes, the vulnerabilities, the defiance, everything is just absolutely spot on. It's very, very human. That's what I want to say. Now, apart from the narratives of the lives of the characters and the in-depth psychological exploration, what really makes this book shine is the audible narration, which is why I do want to urge you, if you are someone who loves to read books rather than listen, I would say that you give the audible version a try just for this book because it is absolutely magnificent. So Audible has chosen Sadie to be an Audible original creation, which means that they have an entire cast of voiceover artists who have voiced every single character in the book. You also have amazing thematic background scores that really add to the ambience of the book as you listen to it. And going even deeper, you also have audios of regular life. For example, someone opening or switching on a cigarette lighter, you can actually hear the click. Someone opening a creaky gate, and you can hear the creaking sound, the groaning of the gate as it pushes against its unoiled hinges. You can hear babies cry, you can hear people walking around, you can hear the bustle of the crowd around the characters. And overall, the way the entire Audible production has been set up makes you feel like you are inside the book yourself, that you are a character within the world of Sadie, perhaps in the orbit of Sadie herself, and that you're experiencing all of these events and all of these experiences firsthand. And I think that is something absolutely spectacular. I do want to say that I listen to my, fair share of Audible books, and I think Sadie is definitely going to be my number one choice for 2022 in terms of Audible books. It's that well done. It might even get into the top 5 of the best audio productions by Audible of all time in terms of the 3 years that I've listened to Audible books. And I think anyone who enjoys Audible books, or if you're interested in picking up an audiobook for the very first time, you're going to definitely like it. Of course, I do want to caveat that by saying that not every audio production is as beautifully produced as Sadie. So you do want to temper your expectations with the following, succeeding books that you're going to take up on Audible later. But yeah, overall, I think Sadie is an absolutely phenomenal book that you're going to enjoy. The character development is absolutely fabulous, and it isn't plot driven, but it is character driven. Although the premise of the book makes it sound like this book is plot driven, that is a girl chasing after the murderer of her sister, it is the characters in the book that really make you feel for them, that make you question your own mindset, your own perspectives, the stereotypes that you hold as an individual. It makes you wonder how you would react if you were in that particular situation. And I think in that way, a book that can make you feel and introspect so deeply is something that deserves the highest credit ever. So yeah, I think Sadie is something that you should definitely pick up, and you're going to enjoy it. I think anyone's going to enjoy it. And yes, please do listen to the Audible version. The entire cast of voiceover artists have done such a phenomenal job. It's just rich with emotion, and the depth and range of the voiceover artists is fantastic, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So now for the cards that I have chosen to correspond with Sadie. Now overall, if I were to select a card for Sadie, then it would have to be Judgment. Yeah, there you go. And the reason I've chosen Judgment is because I know that a lot of people don't consider the Judgment card to be to be someone who's sitting in judgment of themselves or others. But I think Judgment is also about taking stock of your situation, trying to understand why you come here and what made you land up in this place in the first place, and to find ways to move out of the situation, to be a better version of yourself, to know when it is time to cut the cords and to do something about where you are and how you are, so that you can elevate your experience, so that you can empower yourself, so that you can become a better version of yourself. And in that sense, so many of the characters do reflect this trait. Judgment is also about knowing when it is to say, stop, enough, I've had enough, and it's time that I do something about whatever, horrible things that are happening to me or to somebody else, and it's time that I step up and take action. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. And I think the Judgment card, to a large extent, also sort of embodies that quote, embodies that feeling. And I think that's why this particular card really resonates with me in terms of the theme of Sadie. It's because it explores the nuance of judgment from myriad perspectives, both personal judgment on society as a whole. And I'm not talking about this is just the society in the book or the orbit of Sadie. I'm talking about society that we live in, and how we've, and why, and how have we led our society to become the way it is, and why are we not doing anything about it. And I think that's why Judgment can be such a fabulous card for Sadie. Now Sadie herself, because she is the protagonist of this book, reminds me of the Mother of Cups. Now, as with the Mother of Cups, she is a very loving, nurturing, mothering individual, and it is her compassion and innate love for her sister that really drives change, both within herself and in the world around her. And I think also because of the Mother of Cups, the negative of the Mother of Cups is that the severity, or rather I would say the strength of the emotions that she holds, although the capacity to love is so deep, The strength of emotions that she holds also blinds her to the dangers and problems of the world around her. Sometimes her expectations aren't really realistic, and but again, that's very human, right? We all want to create positive change in the world, whether the world at large or in our own family and loved ones circuit, right? And I think as the Mother of Cups, that love, that capacity to hold so much love and compassion and kindness can really drive positive change, but it can also blind us to the pitfalls that we would have to navigate in order to effect such change. And I think so Sadie is really sort of matches, her archetype matches with the Mother of Cups. Now, overall, I would say the world of Sadie is sort of like a terrarium for me. Now, the terrarium is sort of like a world within a world. You have this big enclosure wherein you create a false world wherein you can keep your spiders or your lizards or any other sort of reptilian pet, right? From the outside, everything looks so beautiful. You've set this place up so wonderfully, and things just look spectacular. There's no problem. But then within the terrarium, there's this. It's sort of like a jungle. There is a prey. There's a predator. They have their own politics that goes on, and the world isn't really safe inside the terrarium. And in a large extent, the world of Sadie is like a terrarium. I'm just gonna leave you with this thought hanging because I don't want to give anything away. Just think about it. It's a book in which the world is like a terrarium. So yeah, there you go. Sadie by Courtney Summers. I think it's an absolutely fabulous book. One of the best books that I've listened to this year. Possibly one of the top 5 best Audible productions I've ever listened to. And I think you will definitely enjoy it. So go pick it up. And if you have already listened to Sadie or perhaps read it, do let me know in the comments below what you thought of the book. And if you're going to recommend it to somebody else, I would love to hear from you. Alright, thank you so much for watching another episode of Books and Tarot, and I will bring you another wonderful read sometime soon. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye.